Hi guys, welcome back to the second half of the Taipei adventures with James and Christina, but really just Christina. James is just here because he has to be. Let's talk about some creative stuff.
I am also here to look you in the eyes deeply and remind you that you are loved.
When you look me in the eyes. So the last...
Wait, who sang that?
Jonas Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I forget. That the year 3000 song, that gets stuck in my head, and when it gets stuck in my head, it just stays there for 3 days.
My condolences.
It was a very catchy pop. It was like one of the last just happy pop songs.
Yeah, they were there for the year 3000. Not much has changed.
In it.
Yeah, but they lived underwater. And your great-great-great-granddaughter.
It was kind of funny, honestly.
Doing fine.
Yeah. It's like, it's just funny. Not much has changed, but they lived underwater, which means a lot has changed.
Yeah.
Because obviously most of our cities are on land now, even though the earth is surrounded by 70% of water.
True.
But I guess it could have been a global warming reference. That's kind of intense. Anyway, what are we talking about, Christina?
So last episode, it was just my thoughts on everything and my experience and 14-hour flights and stuff. This time around, we're going to actually talk about some creative stuff. Last episode, we did speak a little bit about the creative side, some of the things that I learned, the things that I spoke about. I don't know. I don't remember what we spoke about 10 minutes ago. But this time around, I want to talk about, number one, what I think that we can do better after watching all of these top-tier creators create their creative things.
Top-tierly.
Top-tierly. There's a bunch of other stuff that we're going to talk about in this episode as well.
Cool.
So let's just jump into it.
Okay. Sounds good. Christina, let's begin.
Splashing sound effect. Throws water on the microphone. So
from pond5.com or whatever, where you get the sound effects.
Oh, I just ripped them off of YouTube. So I think after being in Taipei for about a week and creating with all of these amazing people, I think that you and I need to be more efficient.
Okay.
We are operating at like 60% of their efficiency.
Ooh, yes, okay.
And I'm out here trying to kill the game, okay? Asterisk, I'm also not out here trying to kill myself. So I think we need to have a good work-life balance, but when we're working, I think you and I need to be turned on so hard.
Okay.
That was sexual, and that did not mean to be sexual, but you get my point.
I don't mind it, though.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, okay, you want to get turned. And I think that probably comes down to two things.
What?
Three things.
What?
Enthusiasticness, obsessiveness. These are the two things that I kind of live off of every day, is trying to generate more enthusiasm and obsessiveness for what I'm doing, because obsession can do a lot of great things.
Yep.
Right? And
three comes after two.
Focus,
yes.
And when I say focus, that can bleed into the enthusiasm and obsession, so I want to be clear about what focus means. Means focusing away, saying no to other things.
Dude.
So that we can say yes to the right things.
Screw
and
that.
prioritizing.
I say yes to everything.
No. I mean, that's why we don't create. What I'm saying is
I think we
on
found
a
the
daily
problem.
basis, not like opportunities. What I'm saying is, instead of scrolling on Facebook, having a half conversation about the podcast, you put your phone down, we get out the notes app, and we get, you're saying no to lesser activities.
Yes, absolutely. So we're more focused.
Yes.
Saying no makes us more focused.
Correct.
I think.
That is correct.
I think, like, just as an example, while I was gone filming with Sarah, I feel like I got more work done in those 3 days than I have gotten done in like the last 2 weeks at least. Just because obviously the deadline, the turnaround was very tight, but being surrounded by people who kind of, they have a lot of things to do, so they have no choice but to be super, super efficient. I think that we could really gain some knowledge from that. So I think you and I need to obviously work on refining that. And for those of you who are listening, you need to get your life. I'm just kidding. But I'm sure there are a lot of
judgment.
people.
Be overwhelmed by judgment.
Yeah. dude. I think there are a lot of people that listen and that we know on the internet that want to kind of step it up, and the only thing in between stepping it up and it being stepped up is just them. Like for me, I'm my own bottleneck.
Well, right. That's the interesting conundrum that the creator faces every day. That is the core conundrum. One of a few core conundrums, I suppose. There are other ones that are big deals, but that's one of the big ones is taking, it's funny, the creative process is about taking responsibility.
Okay. How so?
Because it is you saying that whatever is generated by me has everything to do with me doing my job today.
Right.
And if I don't, it won't happen. I'll waste my life.
Yeah, and you don't want to waste your life.
Right. And so that's what every day both me and you are wrestling with is how do I use my time, take responsibility for my own actions, and use my time in a way that is meaningful.
Right.
That's the creative process. That's the like I said, one of the core conundrums of the creator is doing that. And so,
all right.
Well, somebody fell off a building onto a roof.
What?
I'm very knowledgeable about people falling off of buildings onto roof sounds.
Yeah.
There's like 2 different ones, and that was one of them.
Cool.
So I think that to do that, you have to constantly, to tackle that problem, you have to constantly be present and aware of how you're spending your time. And it's a daily grind.
Yes.
To get better and better at that.
Yeah. I think my personal weakness in this is indeed scrolling the social medias. I'll take twice as long to get out of bed because I'm just scrolling, when I can just get up. Like, yeah, check your phone, but there's no reason that I need to open up. It's typically Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Like, there's no reason that after you check the social app, it's like you close it and then you open it.
Don't forget LinkedIn.
Party.
No, you love LinkedIn.
You reopen the same app just to see if it was updated.
Right.
So I really want to work on that. When I travel, I don't check my phone as often, and I think that I could benefit from like separating a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's, I think you have different things that you struggle with in terms of efficiency. What are those? Tell me.
In terms of efficiency, what do I struggle with? It's funny. I've spent so much time wrestling with the procrastination issue that I don't think that's something I wrestle with too much at this point, because it's just kind of what I do all day long is do creative things. So I'm doing something at all times.
Okay.
But I don't really spend my time just diddling around on YouTube for what I feel like is too long. I think for me, it's more along the lines of dividing my time up in a way that where I'm actually accomplishing what I want to accomplish, like making my activities be directly attributable to my goal.
Yeah.
It's easy to work for hours and hours and hours at a time and never get closer to your goal in a dramatic way. You can incrementally do that.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, like, for example, if you want to you want to grow your following on whatever, right?
Oh my gosh. Sorry, jet lag, guys. I'm yawning.
If you want to grow your following, then that's a different art form. That's a different place to dedicate your time than if you want to make your videos be deeper or something like that, or if you want to make more money. There's different goals, and you'll trick yourself into thinking that what you're doing is going towards that goal, but you're actually not. Right? You're like you're writing something down for a new video when your goal is to be making more money in freelance. So it's like, well, that's not going to get you closer to that. I mean, maybe like you might have some serendipitous thing happen because you made a video, but probably not. So it's always like, where do I put my time to be more efficient? And when you do it all the time, everything becomes a pudding in your head, and you have to, and it's hard to be very clear about what you're trying to do. And I think that's because, unlike you, I'm less big goal oriented. You're always in your mind, I feel like you have these huge goals that you're kind of hanging on to. Whereas for me, it's all about the daily motion. And so when I do that, I'll forget what my goals are and go through the process. But in doing that, I dilute my forward motion. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Something that I think about that we can do better is definitely like when we shift together during the day. So if we needed to go and shoot a video after this, it would take us minimum 30 minutes to leave the house. And that's insane. There's no freaking reason that it should take us this long. Setting up for the podcast. Granted, this podcast, we had to plan it beforehand. I think we were okay in terms of efficiency there, but there's so much. And like, even for you, when it comes to leaving the house to go on a photo walk, you do like so much back and forth, like making sure we get all of our ducks in a row. So I think that's something that we can also work on in terms of efficiency. Like, we need to just, like, when I want to leave, I need to leave.
Yeah.
And when I want us to start a video, I need us to start video. When we're to film a podcast, and I know that I play a role in that, because oftentimes I'm complaining about you dragging your feet, but I'm scrolling on Instagram. So it's like there's two parts of it. So I definitely think efficiency is something that we can improve on. And another thing that I learned about while I was there was the dynamic between the brand and the influencer. Remember, we were talking a lot about like some of the things, like the what to say, what not to say kind of thing.
Okay.
And we were like, oh, that's so stupid. Why can't you just let the creator like make the freaking video?
Oh, okay.
That exists for a reason, and I understand that now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's something that's called treatment. Whenever you work with these big brands and you make
skeptical about this, by the way, guys.
Whenever you make a dedicated video, you have to write out a treatment. And the treatment is basically the thing that you're going to say in the video. The brand needs that because the brand needs to run that by their legal team. Their legal team needs to make sure that they can't get sued for anything that's going to get said.
Okay.
And then they tweak it, and then they send it back. Imagine, so A&D is, I think it's AMD is another processor company. It's like Intel's rival. And imagine if in Sarah's video, she started talking about AMD in a potentially negative way. That could be considered slander. And they can get sued for that. So there's certain things that they can say that they can't say, and the treatment kind of almost sets the expectation. The treatment is literally what you do with your photography projects. When you send pictures that, like, these are the kind of pictures that I'm going to take for you, that's a treatment. These are the kind of pictures that I'm going to take. This is what you can expect from me. So that's kind of what a treatment is in the brand influencer relationship. And what I really liked about kind of sitting in on these some of the meetings that Intel had, I really respected how they have a marketing company for Intel that's kind of like the middleman between Intel and like the influencer. They really have their finger on the pulse of what is working for the creator, what is working for the creator's community, and how they can best market this whole project that they're doing, this whole like, you know, partnership between all of these creators that they're working with. Last year, so the projects have like 3 phases. Last year, one of the deliverables, I'm pretty sure I could say this. I'll just put out like an ambiguous number. So let's say each phase, the creator needed to deliver 5 videos. That's 15 videos a year sponsored by Intel. The creator's community is going to get burnt out. Okay. Does that make sense?
So are you saying there's 3 creators?
No, there's not 3 creators.
You said 5 and then 15. Sorry, I missed a detail there. That was because you said there's a creator.
So each phase, there's 3 phases.
Okay, 3
or
phases.
there's like 3 to 4 phases in whatever project for this specific thing.
I see. For a specific like product or marketing campaign?
For this whole marketing campaign with this group of creators. There's like several phases of it.
Okay.
In terms of deliverables, they have to make a certain amount of videos. Each deliverable, I think, is different for each creator. So let's just say that for creator 1, you have 5 videos per phase. That's like 15 to 20 videos sponsored by Intel. The creators community is going to...
With all the creators combined.
No.
That's what they're going to get. Okay.
This one creator, one person, different phases, has to make 5 videos per phase.
Okay.
So the one creator is going to be making a ton of videos.
Across all phases.
Across all phases.
Got it. Okay.
The creators...
You know, math is not my strong suit.
Golly, James. Like, freaking hell. That was tough. I should write it down. We'll have a whiteboard next time. Essentially what I'm saying is the creators community gets burnt out. And Intel goes, okay, the creators getting burnt out, the community's getting burnt out, which means our message is not being received as well as we would like. So we're going to adjust the deliverables.
Okay. Why would the creator community get burnt out?
Because, like, imagine if you heard all of these ads for the same company. It gets kind of old.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like you're saying from the consumer side, everything feels burnt out because...
Everything kind of just feels like stale. Like, okay.
Because it all feels the same.
Yeah, possibly.
So they have to differentiate what is being said by each creator?
No. They're just differentiating the deliverables.
Okay.
I guess we should have talked about this point beforehand.
Across creators or...
Yeah.
Okay, so each creator has a different different message being told to some extent so that the community doesn't get burnt out with what's being told to them?
Each creator has a different set of deliverables so the community doesn't get burnt out.
That's what I said.
No, you said message. They're spreading the same message. Each phase has a message.
Okay, I think we're saying the same thing, which is that the deliverables need to be different so that what people are hearing doesn't feel the same.
Intel just adjusts the deliverables based on the need of the creator and the community, and they're not afraid to do that. And I really like that. I really respect that. They're not going like, oh, well, we want you guys to put out 15 videos because that, like, the more the better. They go, okay, 15 videos might not be received as well. Maybe let's do 5 videos throughout the entire year.
Got it.
As opposed to 15 videos throughout the entire year.
So they prioritize quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Got it.
And I think that is really important. And it's important to find brands that you trust in that way. And I think each brand is different. There's some people that don't think that hard and they just go, oh, you have, like, we only want people that only have 500,000 or more subscribers. And some of the creators in the group only have like 50,000, but Intel's still working with them because they are good storytellers. And that's one of the things that I was asking one of the marketing guys, like, so what do you look for in a creator? Like, are you looking at size? I said, I could tell you the right answer is no for that one, but like, tell me what you're looking at. And they're looking at the community engagement, the way that creator tells stories. Like, they're looking at all of these things, which makes...
Which are good metrics.
Yeah, which makes me trust the marketing company. What the heck was that? That sounded like an alarm. Okay.
We have a mouse on our table.
No more. Freaked me out.
That was not the fire alarm.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. We spoke about it in the last episode.
Yeah. If you guys didn't hear the last episode, James caught the building on fire. So, and we all died. I was part of a missile crisis thing.
Yeah.
Really interesting stuff.
You should listen to the last episode, long story short.
Yeah. But it makes me respect them, and it makes me trust that, okay, some of the things like in the treatment, it's for everybody's best interest. Another reason that treatments are important is because you don't want to shoot an entire video and then they send it to legal team and the legal goes like, oh, they can't say that. You have to, how are you going to reshoot that part, you know?
Yeah. And okay, so this is what I find interesting about that. For one, there's like the slander side and the legal team side, and I wrestle with that side of things because I think some of that
you're just
stuff
such a
can be a little
freaking rebel when it comes to this stuff.
Well,
like
it's just some of it's unnecessary in the big scheme of things. But
you guys think James and I work well together, like creatively together? Absolutely not. There's so much stuff that James and I like differ on. And that's
we have different opinions.
That's a lot of we have very different opinions, and we're very opinionated, which is why James has his own channel and I have
right
my own channel, which is our own channel, but really I call the shots.
Yeah,
he sobs.
He wears the pants in the channel. So I think the part that I really struggle with is not that they have, for example, if somebody is working with Intel and they have to send out a tweet for Intel that on their own Twitter for Intel, right? I don't have a problem with them sending that tweet to Intel for approval.
Okay,
that's fine. I think that makes a lot of that there are reasons why that makes a lot of sense. So it goes to them beforehand, but I think that it's sort of more about how much not Intel in specific, but how much a company would put their hands in the pot of the creative, I understand them looking for things like slander, things that could get them in trouble, very specific things like that. But what I struggle with is the lack of trust in the creator to create.
I don't think it's a lack of trust.
Okay.
I think it's a logistics thing.
But
I used to think it was a lack of trust, but after speaking with them, I think it's more of a logistics thing.
They might do it perfectly fine, but I think
and I think that's why you don't work with companies that don't trust you.
Well, I think some companies will they'll put their hands into the creative pot too much,
right?
And to the point where the creator feels as if it's like, what am I here for? I'm the storyteller.
And those are the companies that we don't work with.
Exactly. That's the issue I have. Not so much going to them for approval because if you're creating something for their Twitter account, for Intel's Twitter account, right? If you're making a video, just a hypothetical situation. If you're making a video for for Intel's Twitter account, it goes to them. And there's an approval process just by the fact that you send it over to them. But if you're sending it to your Twitter account, I get that it needs to go through them and then go to your Twitter.
Okay.
For approval. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm down with that. I just think that some companies will put their hand into the pot too much, and they need to step back and let the creator tell the story that they're best at telling to their audience because they know their audience.
And those companies just need to go home. They shouldn't be doing this new age of marketing.
We agree.
Yeah. Great.
Why are you mad at me?
I'm just so angry.
Here's an issue, Christina.
Just need a nap.
Our, we decided to do this thing where we film 2 podcasts on one video go around.
Yeah.
We have an hour and 15 minutes on this card, and we're in an hour and 8. So.
An hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah. We
have 12 minutes left. There's just 12 minutes left on the card.
We have 12 minutes left on the video.
James does math. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll be Gucci.
Okay. Are we just going to keep going, or are we going to wrap it up in the next 12 minutes? That's my question.
I'm sure we can wrap it up in the next 12 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good.
And if we don't, then it'll be just the audio version for the rest of the podcast.
Do you want to touch on breaking routines?
Yes.
Okay.
But
and
first,
inspiration.
We'll talk about inspiration.
Well, because I think they're the same, right?
Well, that's why I say let's talk about that first. Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about inspiration, Christina.
Tired.
Let's talk about inspiration.
You're the inspiration.
Christina's still recovering from jet lag, obviously.
Go.
She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand my. You said I've been annoying you.
Yeah, you've been really irritating me since I've gotten back.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to.
Shit. I mean, shoot. Okay, so excitement. You were supposed to talk about that while I was finding my throat. Go ahead.
So excitement, inspiration, So one thing I've been wrestling with. I try to keep you guys updated on the things I'm wrestling with because I'm always wrestling with a different thing every week. I've been learning that excitement, and enthusiasm might be a really good thing to go after in content. And one of the things
maybe
one of the things I'm struggling with is you have this subset of people, a lot of people, who say, you know what, if you're having fun, that's good enough, right?
If you're happy and
when you're making your content, if you're having fun, good times. And my struggle with that is it prioritizes your happiness and not necessarily doing something meaningful to create, to share with the world.
Right.
And if you do that, you're just going to have a lot of fun and you're going to die. And a lot of people like that.
And as great as that is, dying.
Yes, as much as we enjoy the prospect of dying one day. I don't think that alone is a great meaning to go after. Mm-hmm. So the question is, how do you, what does enthusiasm provide to your videos? And I won't get too deep into this today, but I'll just say that what I'm trying to do with my own content right now is I'm trying to become more excited about creating. So go after things that I find to be invigorating to me, mm-hmm. things that I want to create. And I'm doing that for a specific purpose.
Right.
That is to make my content, that's to serve my content in a way that it would not be served if I was not enthusiastic about it. And so one of the things I'm trying right now, which I've wrestled with in the past, if you watch my channel, I've kind of gone back and forth about this. Something I'm trying right now, because I'm scared to say I'm committing to it, is reintroducing the photo walk, where I go out, I strap a camera to myself and film my photo walks. Mm-hmm. But I just went to Moab and I filmed one. And the reason why is because, so I just went to Moab and I filmed one. I got a chest mount, which made it where people can be with me, but they're not intrusive on the photo walk process, which was one of my big issues. And I have not been so excited to film videos, a type of video, mm-hmm. in a long time.
Just keep going.
And I have not been this excited to film videos in a long time. I really got into a place where I was like, it was pulling teeth to film a video. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but feel that I shouldn't ignore that excitement, that I should press into that.
Yeah.
And that will feed my content.
Well, you definitely shouldn't ignore the fact that you hate making videos.
Yeah.
Like, that's important to kind of lean into. If
right.
you're not interested in it, then what are you doing it for?
That's the struggle. That's exactly the struggle
mm-hmm.
that I wrestle with. It's sort of an existential thing for me. Like, it's a deep thought, which is like, okay, the goal in itself is not my excitement for me. But does the excitement serve a purpose? And I guess the question, I'll just leave it with, think about that. Mm-hmm. What do you do with the whole excitement thing? Are you just going to have fun making videos, mm-hmm. or are you going to do it to serve a greater purpose?
Yeah. And
should you make videos that make you miserable if they're meaningful? I would say the answer is probably not, mm-hmm. but that's not an easy question.
Well, even for
me at least.
Yeah, even for our videos, like, there's some that I just don't get stoked on. And
right.
Honestly, those just end
on
up
like a one-off basis, right?
Somewhat, yeah. And it's because I'm making a video that I think will do well, and just that whole algorithm thing. And honestly, I don't get excited to edit it, and it just kind of sits there, and eventually I just delete it, mm-hmm. because I don't want to put stuff out that's not stuff that I'm genuinely stoked about. Mm-hmm. And that's been something that I think about quite often. What the heck am I doing with YouTube? What kind of videos am I making? And I think that it's an important thing to think about, and it's important to have self-awareness about. Like, I don't want to make these super topical videos because they're not fun. So if we can make stuff that's fun, for example, one of the most recent really, really fun videos that I made, and I say I because you didn't make it, was the GoPro video. That was like me start to finish, and I got really excited about it. And
the 360?
Yeah, the 360 video. And I think that one has done very well on YouTube, and I want to make more stuff like that. And something that I'm kind of itching to do is travel more. Like we travel a lot, but I'm just tired of paying rent. I'm tired of like just that whole grind. And I think that's something that's something important to pay attention to. Of, just, okay, well, what's next? That's something James and I have recently been speaking a lot about. And in that, so this is going to segue back to Taiwan, something that I did that, like, I think you have to break routine in order to continue to see what excites you. So for you, breaking the routine was, okay, let's do a photo walk video again, see how we feel about it. And then that kind of just evolves into whatever it is. For me, because I'm an extrovert, I think I mentioned it in this episode or last episode, I'm an extrovert, guys. Spoiler alert. I like to do things with human beings, and James likes to lock himself in a closet. But I just get so much energy off of going outside and like just being around people. So one of the things that I did while I was in Taiwan, like I edited, I hustled. Well, let me backtrack. I filmed all day, and then I came back, I edited, and then I wanted to do something else. It's like, it's only like 8:30. I can't just stay here and go to sleep because I won't sleep well. So I just went outside and I went for a walk. And throughout the entire week, I've been wanting to make a video for our own channel of Taipei, like that whole experience. And that video will come out soon. It's not going to come out in this next week when you guys are listening to it, but we'll make sure to let you know. But when I broke that routine, that's when I came up with that video idea. So it was a video idea that I was excited about. Honestly, I don't know how it's going to turn out because we never do, but I'm really excited to, I guess, dive deeper into that and make that. And I think it's important to break whatever routine you have in order to find the things that you're stoked about. And then the things that you're stoked about, you make videos about it, you make art about it, whatever your method of artiology is. Yeah. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just add to that generally speaking, the place where you work is not the same place where you find inspiration. So if you work at a desk, perhaps you need to go walk around in a forest. Open up your mind a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And your body won't tell you necessarily that where you need to go for inspiration. It just tells you that you need it. So you need to think that out for yourself and decide where to go.
Right, absolutely. The last thing that we'll speak about, and for those of you guys who are watching the video version of this, sorry, you don't get to hear it. But if you want to hear it, I will link the audio version of the podcast below because I think it's a very important topic and we're running out of space on our camera because I had a spur of the moment idea. Also,
good one, by the way. I like what you did here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But for you audio listeners, mind you, most of the people that listen to the podcast listen via audio. So if you've been listening to me ramble on about you video people, then my apologies. But the last thing that I think is very important is to talk about deadlines because deadlines are important. Deadlines make you dead inside.
By video watchers.
So deadlines. This is something that I love. James was talking about it in one way. He feels almost negatively about it from my perspective. I feel very positive about deadlines. I love deadlines. I love deadlines that just make me...
I feel negatively about deadlines?
Yeah, you say they show weakness. What's that about?
Oh, you misunderstood what I said then. I'll let you know what I mean.
Okay,
go ahead.
So James thinks that deadlines
I don't feel negatively. I think deadlines are amazing.
Okay, cool. I think deadlines are amazing too. I love deadlines because they make me mo better. I like to load my schedule up and then the deadlines come up and I just execute. And I want to execute like that when I don't have these insane deadlines. But it's just not the reality of the situation. I love deadlines. Most of the deadlines are self-inflicted and they frustrate me because
self-inflicted deadline.
That's
something that is a feature of your personality, which I think is really good.
Self-inflicted deadlines.
A lot of people are not good at self-inflicted. I know,
but my self-inflicted deadlines are so unrealistic.
Right, that's the problem. That's your issue. Is you need to make them more realistic. But having them in the first place is so good. I generally don't have personal deadlines. Like they're sort of personal guidelines. They're like, I'm going to post it somewhere around this time.
Yeah.
But for you, it's like, I want to get this done by this time. Mm-hmm. And if it's not, it's really problematic for you.
Yeah. When I went to Taipei, the days before, I had so many things to do. The last day I had to we were supposed to record 2 podcasts and then a bunch of videos, and it was just going to be a mess. And we didn't get it done. And I'm still here. I'm breathing. I wanted to edit and upload a bunch of videos while I was in Taipei. But honestly, I didn't want to spend my day, like my free time, in a hotel room editing videos. Mm-hmm. So it's like you have to travel. Mm-hmm. Not travel. You have to go out and explore, which is part of travel. James ended the recording. We're like so multitasking right now. But yeah, that
28
was
28 minutes on the audio card, by the way.
We'll be all right. It was a struggle for me to kind of say no to editing. Or it is a struggle for me to say no to doing things, which is why I say we need to be more efficient. That way we can get all of these things done, and then we're happy. It's a great time. I think my deadlines are attainable as long as I'm super, super efficient. I've done it before. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that I need to work on, and I need to be very self-aware about this week in terms of, okay, how much time am I spending just mindlessly scrolling? How much time am I spending like looking for music for a video? Do I need to shift things up? Like, just need to be more efficient, and then I'll hit deadlines.
Mm-hmm. And this is where I think enthusiasm comes in, and obsession. This is why I really emphasize obsession, because some of the people that I have been the most inspired by who create things or invent things or build things, there is a level of absurd obsession that they exhibit that is unignorable. It's ridiculous how obsessed they are, and sometimes to the point where they neglect other things in their life to a tremendous degree. But that obsession is the thing that allows them to have the energy to put in the time to get the thing done, and to reach the deadlines like what you're talking about. I find that most of the time, let me put it this way, for you, when you don't reach a deadline, assuming your deadline's not ridiculously absurd, which generally it's not ridiculously absurd, it's just we as humans tend to have a problem with calculating how much time something's going to take.
Anything creative is going to take at least 6 hours.
Yeah, it's going to take like 3 times as long as you expect it to take. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. And I think there's probably a name for this phenomenon, but we are very bad at figuring out how long something's going to take. With your deadlines that, let's just say they're reasonable, right? Mm-hmm. You would achieve them if you were more obsessed. And the reason why I say you're less obsessed than you could be is because you're scrolling Facebook.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you were obsessed, Facebook
doesn't even matter.
Would be like, I mean, it would be like if you were sitting at a table and there was, what's your favorite food, Christina? I should know this.
Orange soup.
Orange soup.
Dude.
There's a bowl of orange soup sitting in front of you.
Get lit on some orange soup, guys.
Can you quickly explain orange soup, by the way, for people who don't know?
Orange soup is not actually a meal. It's actually called soup jumun, and it's a Haitian meal. I'm sure other cultures have it. But they essentially just take everything in the fridge that's able to be cooked.
Everything in water.
And they make it into a soup. So you'll have chicken and then a whole bunch of vegetables. And then sometimes they add another meat in there, which is kind of weird because you're like having a little bit of lamb, a little bit of chicken. But orange soup is just thebomb.com. It's orange. And I just call it orange soup.
Christina.
Now I want some.
Christina is in the non-eater variety of humans. She really struggles to eat sometimes, but if you make orange soup,
dude,
she'll eat 5 bowls and then vomit.
Yeah, I get so, like, my stomach gets so full, I look pregnant because I just keep eating the soup, and it is so freaking good. And one bummer is James used to not like be so jazzed, not so keen on orange soup. And this winter, for some reason, he started to find his liking of it. And I was like, oh, I have to share it. So it didn't last as long.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's just not to the level that you like it.
Get lit on
I like
some
something that I
soup.
gotta like bite into. I like a steak.
The reason I like soup
like fish
is because I don't have to chew it. I just shove it down my gullet and it just nom, nom. So good. I actually have chicken put aside, and we probably can make orange soup. I don't know if that butternut squash is still good. It might have some freezer burn. Is it okay to cook food with freezer burn? I'm sure it is.
Good question.
Guys, we're gonna make orange soup this weekend.
So
what's the temperature?
Okay, imagine there's a bowl of orange soup in front of you.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about creativity.
You see how I remember that?
Yeah. Okay, tomorrow it's gonna rain, so we're gonna have some orange soup.
You want to know how I remember that, by the way? Because you know how we always talk about how we, like, when we interrupt each other, we forget our thoughts? I don't know if you look down, but my hand was making the shape of a bowl of orange soup the entire time so that I wouldn't forget it.
Okay.
So do something with your hands. That's a good way to remember something in a conversation, but don't make it weird. You know, like maybe like don't grab the person's face in front of you or something like that.
Kinky.
Stick your hand in their ear. So you have a bowl of orange soup in front of you, and over here to your left,
that's my right.
To your right is it's like some old spaghetti that's warmed up after the night before, and it's like the spaghetti sauce that you don't like, just go along. It's like the spaghetti sauce that you don't like, but it's food and you gotta have protein, right?
No, I want spaghetti and orange soup.
So it's just bad spaghetti, but it's
vomit
okay.
on a sweater already.
But it's like you'll eat it and it's there and it's food and it's like it's okay, right? It's okay spaghetti. So this orange soup in front of you, you're obsessed with. You don't care about the spaghetti. The spaghetti can go and die in a fire.
You're gonna go in on some orange.
You're gonna go in on
soup.
some orange soup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the problem is with creating, you don't have this orange soup in front of you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You have 5 different meals and they're all old spaghetti and old crackers and that sort of thing. It's a bunch of things that are trying to fight for your attention. What you need is to make an orange soup for yourself and use your excitement to create that thing as fuel to create.
Right.
That you'll naturally get so obsessed. So if you've always spoken about wanting to be in the Coast Guard.
I think that would be so fun.
You think it'd be so fun?
I mean, I don't know if I want to commit to that amount of work now, but after, if I never met James, guys, I would have probably applied for the Coast Guard and just like saved people from the ocean.
Well, you can always apply for the Coast Guard here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
So hypothetical situation, you're in the Coast Guard, and let's just say you love it. When there's a challenge in front of you, if you love your job in the Coast Guard, you're going to have no problem feeling motivated to go take on that challenge.
Yeah, and also because somebody might die if you don't take on that challenge.
That's a great reason to be obsessed with the thing.
You need to threaten me with death.
Exactly. And that's a great example of when something is in front of you that is really, really important. You will naturally build the excitement for it. So the idea, one strategy for creating is that you hack your brain to become obsessed with the thing, and that's the thing I've been on for a little while now. Is trying to figure out how to become more obsessed, so that I can, because I think there's so much power in obsession. Right. What do you think about that?
I think that's good. Now I want some soup. Can we go get some soup? I might make some soup, but it's kind of like getting
Dang
warm.
it, I should have spoke about Chipotle.
Yeah, I noticed that you had Chipotle while I was gone.
It was good.
Yeah, I bet.
It was freaking great, Christina.
Yeah.
You got to go to Taiwan, so I had some Chipotle.
Yeah. I had the most eclectic,
I went to the
authentic food.
Southwestern
and
grill.
Let's just say that I'm not a fan of uni.
Oh.
It's
what is uni? I've never heard of that.
I forget what it is, but it's got a weird texture to it.
It's like a soup or it's
no,
like a fish?
It's like a fish. Like a fish. It's not a squid, but it's one of those things.
Oh, wow.
It's like...
Oh, my gosh.
That's what it's
like.
like.
Did it move?
No, it was dead.
Okay.
But my
helpful.
favorite meal in Taiwan was this spinach soup thing that they made with only like the little butts
Christina
of the
likes
spinach.
Soup.
I do. And then they also had this really, really good rice thing. And
you know what I like?
What?
I had Wendy's chicken nuggets and French fries the other day.
James had such an American meal.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. I haven't had fast food in a very long time.
Hey,
partially because I can't. Because of gluten issues.
Yeah, speaking of...
But I had chicken nuggets and didn't know there were gluten in them, but I didn't die.
He told me, okay, this is totally off of the creative topic. James told me yesterday, he's like, I had Wendy's chicken nuggets. And he was so proud of himself. I was like,
because I've had issues with chicken in the past.
Right. And I was thinking, how did the gluten taste? That was like the first bit.
You said what was it breaded in? And I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, like bread. It's Wendy's. It's not gonna have gluten-free chicken nuggets. Like they're not that. They're on Twitter, but they're not that future forward.
That they were breaded. I thought that the chicken nuggets were just chicken nuggets fried.
What do you think fried is? Like, how do you fry things?
You bread it. Yeah, you bread it. You put stuff around it. But I just totally forgot about that part. But it was so good. Yeah. Oh my god. It was so worth it that the effects were the glory of the effects were better than the
that probably means that you don't have gluten issues.
Well,
we need to get you tested.
That's a complicated conversation.
Okay. Final thoughts on deadlines. You think they show weakness in terms of what you need to do better. You literally said deadlines show weakness when we were talking about it for notes.
Can I clarify? Because I don't know if you get what I said.
Okay. Go ahead and clarify it.
Okay. I was saying that they
point out your weaknesses.
The testing by fire of a deadline shows you what your weaknesses are, and it lets you know. It brings you down a notch. It attacks your ego and lets you know where you lack as a photographer or videographer.
Okay. James feels that way. I think deadlines show potential. They show potential on how efficient you can be.
I think that too.
So that's where I wanted to leave this off, of us disagreeing but agreeing at the same time. Welcome to our marriage.
I think it does both. I think that deadlines
I'm not saying that you don't
powerful.
Ow, fuck,
oh God.
Jeez. I mean,
Christine.
Wow, I've really been like on a tangent this time.
I landed on her foot.
James freaking put the chair on my toes.
So sorry.
And I am not wearing shoes right now.
Don't put your toe all over on my side of the table, Christina.
Well, excuse me for wanting to be close to you. Let's go grocery shopping. Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe. You get to listen to us argue with each other and agree but disagree at the same time. I will apologize a lot for our behavior and for my profane language. But when a freaking chair goes on your foot, you're going to say a curse word, guys. But other than that, do you have anything else to say?
Unless you're a Mennonite.
Do you have anything else to say?
You're going to say, oh frick.
Do you have anything else to say? Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. We love you guys. We appreciate your face. James and I are going to go grocery shopping and continue to get on each other's nerves.
Rate and review.
Rate and review, guys. Rate and review. Goodbye.